Hi, everyone. I'm Sunshine Jackson, and thank you so much for joining me for the Sunshine Sessions on YouTube. Well, black men are angry with me. I figured as much, but it's okay. And they're angry because of a video I recently did that addressed the Godfrey situation. And for those of you who don't know, you can go back and watch that, and you can go back and watch Godfrey's video about how he was triggered seeing the image of a white man and a black woman or biracial woman in New York. I think it was Bed-Stuy, maybe. One of the boroughs. I don't want to quote the wrong thing. Anyway, I did a video responding to that, and some people let me know that they weren't very happy about it. And as I stated, I figured that that would happen. But here's the thing. This video is just a response to those comments. This is not in any way a retraction or an apology, because I am adamant about what I stated. And I felt like it was a pretty fair and balanced assessment of the situation. Let me make it clear that I am female identified. I'm not a pick me. I won't ever be that. So I will always advocate for what I think is best for Black women, no matter what that looks like. That may not look the same for every Black woman. So I was accused of advocating interracial relationships. That's not the case. I am an advocate for Black women being in healthy relationships, whatever that looks like. I think Black men are great. I just don't think that it is an unwritten rule or this uh, unspoken thing that we may always end up with a Black man. So, if we do, that's great. If not, I feel like Black women should definitely go where they are celebrated and appreciated and treated tenderly and cherished like women should be. So, again, I was never advocating for interracial relationship. And I think it's pretty sad that I should have to make that clarification, because even if I was, I think I have just as much of a right to do that as Godfrey has a right to want to see more images of Black men and white women. However, I'm just clarifying again, not an apology, not a mea culpa. It's not a retraction. I stand firmly by everything I said in the video, which I won't really go into all of that. You can check it out. I encourage you to do that, and I thank you in advance. And please like, um, subscribe, and share if you will. If not, I understand that as well. So I just wanted to address a couple of the comments, a couple of which are in the comment section of part one of the Godfrey video that I did, but the majority of the comments came to me directly on Instagram, because that's where I first made my initial response in the comment section on Godfrey's page, actually. So some of the comments included things like, well, the women who were attacking Godfrey were never advocating for, they were never his supporters. They were advocating for interracial relationships, et cetera, et cetera. Well, that's not the case. The video that I made is in response to the way the women were treated when they spoke out about how they felt about what he said. I wasn't defending women who were advocating for interracial relationships. What I was doing was defending and speaking to the women who were disrespected and berated when they responded to his video. It had nothing to do with them advocating for interracial relationships. They were responding to the hypocrisy of the video, and that's what I was speaking on. And by the way, again, let me make it clear, if some of those women were advocating for interracial relations, that's their choice. They have every right to do that, but that's not what I was doing. Secondly, some of the feedback that I got from Black men was how I was ranting for however long the video was about nothing, because what did he say? He said something about I was speaking from about what was going on 10 years ago, and how now that we know what the situation is, we should assess the problem and work on it together. Okay. My response to that was, I think it's interesting that, and we'll just go back as little as 10 years. It's interesting that when Black men were parading their preferences in the media, and Black women were vocal about how they felt about that, and how, it was kind of painful and made them feel a certain kind of way. Interestingly enough, Black men didn't speak out about the need to assess the issue and work on it together at that point. But now that Black women are moving in a different direction, a lot of them are divesting, I find it interesting that at this point, now Black men want to assess the situation and work on it together. Well, the desire, as I stated, to assess the situation when Black women were speaking out about it, that desire wasn't there. In fact, it was quite the opposite. It was more like, get over it. Black men don't owe you anything. You don't own Black men, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Just deal with the fact, Black men don't want, just a lot of that. And that's unfortunate. But I just think it's funny now that, as that saying goes, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Or you can frame it also as a lot of men can't take the hurt they give, or simply karma is a bitch. And I think that since we are in a new situation where more and more women are exercising their options to date out, I just find it interesting that that particular gentleman is now speaking about assessing the situation and working on it together. I just thought that was interesting. Also, I was told that I'm really not for the Black family and wanting to build and that type of thing. Again, I just find the hypocrisy just very telling. I'm being attacked, so to speak. And again, I expected such. I'm being addressed, I'll put it that way, for not being for the Black family, but you're defending the very man who said he wanted to see more images of Black men and white women. See, it's the hypocrisy for me. Another thing that stood out to me, another comment from another gentleman, was that these Black women are so far gone that they can't be saved. Just the Black women. Again, just the hypocrisy. I expected as much. Again, not an apology or a retraction. I feel the way I felt at the time. I still feel that way. I won't ever apologize. Again, I won't ever be a pick-me. I will always be female identified. I will always advocate for whatever is best for Black women, because I feel nobody shows up for Black women. So I think it is uber important for Black women to stay on code and to show up for each other. That's just the way that I feel. It's unfortunate that I have to explain to certain men that when I say that, that does not mean that I hate Black men, because I don't. I actually love them. I'm currently being wooed by a couple of them. So there's no hate. We're not all traumatized by Black men or our situations with one bad apple. That's not the case. It's just that a lot of Black women are becoming more aware about their choices and their options, and they're just exercising those. It has nothing to do with hate or being traumatized or anything like that. It's just a different day. And the majority of Black women are not interested in being a ride or die for a man who's going to jerk them around for a certain amount of years, or want to be their forever boyfriend. You understand? Or and I shouldn't even put it that way, because a lot of them don't even want to be your forever boyfriend, but they want you to be their forever girlfriend. So a lot of Black women, I feel like they're just waking up, and they're just not here for that anymore. That has nothing to do with hate. That has everything to do with self-awareness and self-love. I guarantee you, the majority of Black women still desire intimate relationships and long-term situations and marriages with Black men and want Black families. I guarantee you the majority of Black women want that. However, more and more Black women are realizing that they don't have to sit around and wait for it. That's all I'm saying. It has nothing to do with me wanting to destroy the Black family or Black. That's crazy. And again, I think it's very, very telling that that revelation was not present when Black men were dating out, without apology, by the way, and with little regard to how some Black women were hurt by that. All of a sudden, the Black family needs to stick together. Okay. I think Black families are beautiful, but I also think it's a beautiful thing when Black women exercise self-love and they do what's best for them. That's all that I'm saying. So I'm going to end this by saying this to the gentleman who asked me the question, and I think the question was, how can you say that you were a supporter of Godfrey's if you are advocating for interracial relationships? And how can you say that you support the Black family and Black unions if you're advocating for interracial relationships? Well, I guess the same way the man who states that he wants to see more Black men with white women. I'm Sunshine Jackson. Thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe. And stay tuned for my next video, the desperation and embarrassment of the pick me.